Welcome, welcome. You are the Sunday Fun Day bunch. I'm so glad to see you. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your on-screen facilitator this evening for our weekly setup. I'm not normally on Sundays, so this is such a treat for me to see your beautiful names in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Joining me, my co-facilitator, Malika, will be hanging out in the chat with you. She's popping on to give you a quick wave hello, and she'll be there. Now I want to tell y'all, my computer's been acting weird, or something's been acting weird, and I've been kicked off, and then I'll come right back on. Like, it's that little hiccup. If you guys have some Mac secrets for me, let me know. We've reset the router. We seem to be holding steady now. But the network issues are making me crazy. I've gotten a couple of diagnostic reports ready to send off if something else happens, but have no fear, because if something happens on this end, Malika's got me and I'll pop right back on. Anyway, so great to see you. Oh, yeah, Reverend Joy Ellen, they are working on some of the scheduling so that we have a few more of these evening ones. I think we got a little off schedule. It's usually like an every other week thing, but anyway, I've got this graphic here. We're going to know Sunday scaries, and here's some great ways to embrace this time of reset and kicking off a brand new week. Our last full week of February, if you can believe that. February seemed, I don't know, it seemed to really fly. And then yeah, so we can encourage blue light like an hour before bed. That's a good goal to set. We can take some time to maybe brain dump our worries. Maybe your worries will be able to be put down on paper tonight as you plan for your week. We're gonna get maybe some gentle movement in tonight. Plan your week and schedule breaks. And that's why you're here. Check in with a loved one and make time for a favorite hobby. Sunday evenings can be kind of tough. And so see what you can do to reframe it. Make sure your chat is set to everyone. That's how we'll communicate with each other. You can see everybody sending a lot of love, calling each other out by name. I love that. Yes, and you're right, Amanda. We slow down and backtracking. That's a good, just kind of, anyway. And yeah, is there anybody here for the very first time? Maybe you're sitting with your new March journal and you thought you would log on to kind of get all the scoop on what Silk and Sonder is. If that's you, put a me in the chat. You can see we've got a very welcoming group, very supportive group. I'm always so impressed with how well we know each other. And oh, Allie's an old timer coming back after a break. We love that, Allie. We're welcome home. You found your people again. I want to start our time tonight by looking at the I am loving space on your weekly setup. And I want us to like just put some real fun, positive vibes in the chat. So right now, take a moment to tell us what are you loving. We'll be writing this on page 53. But Marinin says getting stuff done. If you have a book that's in the work that you are loving. Um, oh, I don't know about that peace dog, Reverend Joy Ellen. I love that. Okay, some fun sticky notes. Love that. Aldi's everything sourdough bread. Oh my gosh, Greta, I haven't seen that at my Aldi. I'll have to go look because I always buy their sourdough bread. Just a new week to reboot. Oh, Nathania, you're so right. We love having that fresh start. Puzzle, a cross stitch puzzle or cross stitch project, a Bible recap. Some of you may be entering this season of Lent and you're on a Lenten journey that you're enjoying. Ooh, a costume for your film festival. Lots of positive things. Oh, Leanne, nothing better than pre-prepped food. When you get that food done, I love going to the freezer and it's like a gift I gave to myself. So y'all have a lot of stuff. Oh, so okay, walked with the monks. I love that. Thank you for telling me that, Reverend Joy Ellen. I did not follow the monks as closely as I should have. I was out of the country for a little bit and I just kind of put my phone down for a bit. All right. Okay. Well, India, we're we're sorry that you have to hop. But yeah, we send you lots of love. All righty. Thank you for sharing and getting us going with all these wonderful, positive things. In our community guidelines, we always remind one another that we do create safe spaces, just like now, for each other. So, just the reminders are up there. Take a look at that. Of course, hello at Silk and Sonder is the direction that will point you for anything having to do with your journal subscription. Any questions? Malika and I have limited knowledge on some of the stuff that you may want to know about, so we can always direct you to hello at Silk and Sonder. I'd love keep dropping those what you're loving in there. Lots of good things, lots of good things. Love it. So yeah, being aware of beliefs. And we got a doozy of a question for you tonight with our mind map, our week 4 of the mind map. I have latched on to this quote I had shared or at my other socials. This is one that I probably heard when I was about 10 years old, and it kind of stuck with me. You know how you have those little things that just for some reason make an impression on you. Another one for me was bloom where you are planted. But Henry Ford is attributed to this quote: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I think that for me really speaks to this idea of your personal belief system and you know how you set yourself up for life and for embracing the good stuff as well as the hard stuff. So that's just kind of where I landed when I first saw we were going to do belief. Our evening will be that belief mind map. We are finishing up week number 4. If you haven't been with us, I will share all 4 weeks worth of questions in case you want to screenshot that, or if you missed a week. Like I said, I think this week is a little bit tricky. It's a little tougher. And then we're going to do our rosebud thorn reflection over the week. And then I've got some examples of weekly setup. You know, I know that you kind of have your cadence and you come here and you just carve this time for yourself. So you do what you need to do. But if you have, if you're looking for some inspiration to maybe repurpose a section or see how other people do it, we'll have some examples to show you. There's never a right or wrong way to set your journal up, to set your week up. And we always want to remind you that you can use those spaces just as they are, but we'll also share some ideas from this amazing community of other ways you can use it. So, our final week of our belief mind map. The mind map is that bonus prompt you get when you come to these weekly setups. And we've been looking at how those beliefs, those sets of beliefs that we've carried in our heart have shaped us throughout our whole life. And this month we've had the opportunity to slow down. And so we've been reflecting from week to week. And so this is no judgment zone. You, excuse me, write from your heart, write what pops up. We had week 1 where we looked at inheritance, those beliefs that were just we got when we were kids. We inherited it from family or from just the way that you were brought up. And it could, there may be some beliefs that you had to get rid of, which we kind of explored in week 2 with protection. What was a belief that once protected you? Week 3 was crisis. When has something tested you, pushed you to the limit, maybe gotten rewritten by experience, when you believed one thing, but then you learned that it was, something else. But week 4, this one I think is probably the most personal. So I'm really going to invite you to create that space for you to just freely write on your paper, maybe the things that you wouldn't speak because it is so personal and so intimate. It's about truth. The question is, what belief feels true even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or unpopular? And then we're thinking about this in the frame of living this belief asks me to, and you fill that out. So, some questions to kind of extend this thought process tonight is how does this belief guide your choices when no one is watching? I don't know if y'all remember when I was a teenager, there was a poster and it was like integrity. It's what you do when no one is watching. Um, so, we're kind of thinking about that. Where do you live this belief quietly rather than publicly? Because a lot of those things are kind of down in your soul. What does it ask of you? Courage, boundaries, compassion, and restraint. And we did go deep this month. You can blame me. I'm the one who created the mind map this month. So that was me. So we got a little deep. Um, when I explored this question, I won't go into a lot of details, but I will tell you that two things have come up for me when I think about what is my truth. And they are framed around how I live my faith tradition. And my church went through a really big split a couple of years ago. And there was a lot of soul searching. And I went with one side of my church. And many of the people that mean a lot to me went in the other direction. And so that is where my truth is and what I believe. And then I think in this political climate, we are noticing kind of what our soul says about, how we feel within our political climate. And we're so fortunate that it should be okay. And we can respect one another if we have differences of opinions. So for me, that's sort of the two things that really kind of jump up when I look at what is Jennifer Ogilvy's truth, not my mom's, not my friend group, not my husband's. What is my truth? And when I frame it out like that, it really helps me understand that even though something may feel inconvenient or uncomfortable or unpopular, it is my core. And so I'll stay faithful to that. And I can do it in quiet ways. I don't have to do it in loud ways. So that's kind of where I've gone with that. You may feel comfortable sharing in the chat, but it's okay if you don't tonight. Let's take a few moments to explore this week 4 about truth in our belief system. All righty. I have to, like Sarah said, I'm putting a sticker over this space. That's okay. I think when we even if we don't answer these questions in writing, um, we allow it to just kind of enter our brains, it really helps us just think about what is the core of who we are. And so even if you chose not to write or you're going to stew on it a little bit, I think you probably have a lot that's kind of bumping around in your head, and so that's great too. Give yourself the space you need to work on this. Maybe this is a question that you revisit, in the summer when when things seem a little gentler. But thank you all for those of you who were comfortable sharing in the chat. Thank you for framing that out for us to read what you wrote. Appreciate that. Let's lighten up a little bit. We'll go look at our past week, and this is going to be found on our Rosebud Thorn Reflection on page 50 of your February journal. I love this exercise because it truly is an exercise in gratitude when we look back over just, past 7 days. How did it go? What were your thorns? What were the hiccups, roadblocks, stumbling blocks? A place where you could use more support or something that really brought you a challenging, situation. Then we, of course, always can look forward to a bud. And a bud can be, some of you even put, for what you are loving, a new start, right? A bud can be just a fresh week. But what is something you're looking forward to? And then that rose, the thing or things that you're grateful for or that you're proud of yourself for. Maybe something went well. Maybe you're celebrating a win at work or a win in a relationship, or you took some time for yourself and it worked out really great. For me, I got a jury duty summons. That's my thorn. And it came for a Monday morning, and I always do the Monday morning weekly setup. So now I'm in limbo because I've asked for a deferral so that I could do it later on a Tuesday, but they just make me so anxious, have to drive downtown to the big city and, oh, did you get one too, Allie? I'm so sorry. And I have to leave my house early and fight traffic, and I don't do that anymore. So that was my thorn of the week. My bud is days in the garden. I have little baby tomato plants on my windowsills, and I'm looking outside in the backyard, and I know spring's on the way. So I'm getting excited, starting to plan my garden. And then my rose was lunch with Rebecca, who is one of my very best friends. We worked together for years and years and years. She actually ended up moving. She moved to Paris first and then ended up moving here in Dallas. And so when I moved up here 5 years ago, it gave us opportunities to see each other more often. So we had a big old wonderful lunch, and it just made my day to reconnect with a friend that, one of those gals that you don't have to see a lot, but you pick up where you left off. And I loved that. I'm going to put on a little spot of music. I want to know, share what your roses and buds and thorns are. Let us, give you some support if you need some. And as you look at your thorn, try to find, the silver lining in it. I am grateful as I look at my jury duty that I have that opportunity, that I live in a country where, we get to have a jury of our peers. So I'm grateful for that. Trying to talk myself into it, y'all. Try to find that gratitude within that thorn if you can, and then we'll get on with the rest of our setup. I am so jealous. I missed a king cake opportunity this year. I just forgot. And oh, I love the ones that have the cream filling. Lots of things coming up for y'all. So we are going to be sending out some good thoughts for one another. Thank you for sharing in the chat and letting us know where you might need a little more support. Um, oh goodness. Gloria, I'm seeing your daughter had another incident at work. Ugh, I'm so sorry. So some tough stuff. And then, yeah, trading an old car, Marianne. Lots of things that you guys have going on. Oh, Tanya, so sorry about the situation with the student. That's out of control. That's a tough one. I hope you get the support that you need. We'll put that into the universe for you. So we're sending, yeah, as Taylor says, sending everyone good vibes for the week ahead. And we're together. And even though we're virtual, I always say we bring the good stuff. So feel that, feel that. And I'm just glad that you came. So we have our setup this week can be done in either journal. If you've received your March journal, we've got that whole front week there. Now, what I love to do when that journal comes and there's like a whole extra week is those are like my extra journaling pages. So I won't be setting up on pages 26 and 27 in March. These are going to end up, that like the weekly spread. I'm going to use them like for my extra notes pages for like the daily rituals because we use those notes pages up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with February and finish out the week in my February journal. But maybe you're brand new here and you're sitting with your first March journal. So jump in there, or maybe you're just tired of February. And I always say it was a trash fire, and you're ready to jump into a brand spanking clean page place to plan out the next week. Do it. If that's what if seeing that visual helps, I say go for it. So either journal. All righty. So I've got a couple of show and tells before we get, yeah, it might make your brain happier, Savannah, just to see those, like it's new beginnings, right? Fresh, clean, no scribble scrabbles yet. So go for it. It's your journal. You get to do what you want. So we've got a couple of fun examples from fellow Sonder family members here. You can see that the one on the right, y'all, I love the gnomes, and I love that it's just kind of a sticker assembly over there on the weekly to-dos, kind of keeping a very simple setup. The one on the right, the three goals are love, learn, and peace. And then their habits and activities, just three things. That is such a great reminder to all of us that we can go light if the week needs to be light. You don't have to, completely fill in every little detail. Maybe that's what your brain and your soul needs for the week. The one on the left, you see, I want to feel better about myself. That's so great. And then the three goals, I'm going to worry about myself. I love that. Kind of thinking about that airplane, when the oxygen masks come down, take care of yourself first, then help others. And then, ask myself, will my blank prove that I love the Father or my believer or my higher power? And then just get out of bed. We've got a to-do list and the rhythms. Instead of calling the habits and activities, she's naming this routines and she's giving it a location. So at the desk, at the bed, at the computer table, I'm going to guess that's what C table stands for. Night coaching, where when you're doing your teeth. So just kind of framed that out to work for what they needed, right? So I loved that looks a little different from the regular habits and activities that we see. So wanted to maybe that will inspire you to think of a different way to use that space. And then I think this is Gloria's page, and I put this up because she posted, here's my setup. That's the one on the left. This is what I'm planning to do. And then she followed up at the end of the week. Yes, Gloria, thank you. Because I had asked at another social to post the completed pages sometimes. And you can see what Gloria's page looked like once she traveled through the week. And so I think it was just kind of a fun to say, a before and an after. So, and Gloria is the queen of cute doodles for sure. If you're not following, watching in Sonder Family after these weekly setups, she puts the cutest doodles there. But notice that her habit and activity, she kind of made into a statement. I will feel lighter because that was what she wanted to feel for the week. That was her word. I will feel lighter if I, and then she gave herself some tasks that were going to fill her soul. And then as she tracked those, she filled it in with a little heart, gave herself a little extra love. So, Gloria, thank you for posting a completed page as well, because I love seeing the before and the after. And it's also very colorful. You use a highlight to mark off your to-do list. So great example. Wanted to share that as well. So very inspiring for all of us. So let us start now with how do you want to feel this week? Gloria wanted to feel lighter that week, and it drove everything that she did on her page. I've got some words here. Start dropping what you're going to embrace in the chat. And again, it doesn't have to be a brand new word. It could be the word you use for the whole month or your word of the year. It can be sentences. I love this example there on the upper left. I want to feel open to other people's other opinions to people. And wait, I'm sorry, let me start over. I want to feel open to others' opinions. I want to feel open to people, and I want to feel open to not assuming things. So love that. Somebody's having a birthday. If you're having a celebration, how can you celebrate yourself or celebrate someone that you love who might be celebrating something? Put that in your feeling. Also, this is an oldie. I want to feel productive like a squirrel storing acorns. I can see this person like decluttering and just filling bags, or maybe patient and kind. So I'm seeing calm, cool, collected. Yes. I want to feel like it will be all right. Yep. Malika wants to feel steady. We've got mindful, focused on priorities. Yeah, that is so good, isn't it, Kimberly? Whimsy, enjoy. I love the word whimsy, calm, unrushed. You want to feel unicky. Yeah. Oh, Monica, I'm sorry. Where we right find the silver lining. One more closer to ending someday. Focused and observant. You want to feel structure, organized, opposite of panic attacks. So some calmness you need. Yeah. So keep those coming because, and if you have something like you're not sure how to put it into words, drop it in the chat because y'all are gold and you come up with the best ways to frame things out. Now, I'm going to encourage you, let's take that feeling and let's go look at our goals and our to-dos for the week and how can that feeling be found within how we set up our goals and to-dos. And so that reminder that maybe you set up three different categories. And while we look at these slides, I will go back while you're working on this. So if you see something you want to take another look at, you'll be able to grab that, take a screenshot or whatever. But the three categories is kind of a nice fallback. So maybe every week you do something that's mind, body, soul, and you write a little something to support each one of those. Or frog, fun, and fruitful. So a frog is, eat the toad, eat the frog, get something done that you don't really want to do, but do it anyway. Do something fun, and then something fruitful that maybe serves your life. Maybe delegate, delete, delight. Word of the year can come here. And you can also be inspired by that start, stop, and continue box that you filled out a few weeks ago, or your intentions page might bring something to the forefront, especially as we are wrapping up the month of February. Like, how are you doing on those intentions? Go visit them and see if you were able to incorporate some of those ideas that you had for your February. And maybe that shows up in the form of some of your goals this week. So So again, asking yourself, how will my goals support how I want to feel? What is your why for the week? Um, just three different examples. I love the three major goals there in the middle because they've given themselves a little mini tracker there. So always feel free to write little trackers in there to if you're doing like a daily check-in. Yes, I got some fresh air. Yes, I hydrated. Let's see, we've got some more examples here. They can, or maybe you repurpose this space, you put a quote that's going to guide your week. We can see the delete, the delegate, and the delight example there on the bottom, body, mind, spirit over there on the right. So lots of ways to set that up. And then when we have those goals set up, they can often inspire our to-do list. Here are a couple of examples of a mind, body, soul for the goals. And then you look over and they have kind of used that to do space. The upper one says, these are my weekly to be's. And so to lean into the mind goal, how do they want to be? They want to be present, they want to be a listener, etc. And then the one at the bottom has actually created kind of a little bingo, and it's the weekly no's. Like, what am I saying no to feed my mind? What am I saying no to feed my body? What am I saying no to feed my soul? And so kind of did that little grid there. We also love to bring up the Eisenhower matrix for those really long to-do lists. This is a way to sort everything out. If you've ever used the Eisenhower matrix, how did it work for you to be able to kind of take those big lists and plug them into the appropriate spaces to help you pick out and take care of the urgent and important things? Let us know if you've ever used that Eisenhower matrix. Whoops. And then we can do maybe in this space a need, a want, and a hope to do list. So there's a fun example of that. Again, I'll go back through all these slides while you're working on it. Maybe this is just a tough time right now. And so you keep a little worries list and you use this space to kind of do a little mini brain dump and dump a worry that you have. And just putting it on the paper can give you so much freedom, and you can release kind of that clutch that it has on you because you've put it on the paper and you gave power to that. Of course, we love a to-do list. So, just celebrating the things that we get done. So you leave it blank and you fill it out as the week goes on. And maybe you're working on being focused. And so perhaps you put a distractions list here, social media, the kitchen snacks, the things that distract you, put them down on paper so that you're seeing them and you're giving power to that. Another wonderful way to use your to-do list to repurpose it. There's that to-be list, and here's some beautiful ideas to create your to-be list. Maybe that is how you'll be using that. And let's work on the goals and the to-dos, and then we'll work on our habits. And I'm going to put on just a little bit of music, and I'll go back through all of these slides while you set up. Let us know, what are your goals this week? And what are you going to do? Any repurposing? And if you right. We got a conversation going about what can we do to take care of those screen distractions. I know that like subbing out things to do, that maybe making a list of things you could do, like go make a cup of tea, go pick up, put 10 items away. There was some good advice about, setting different types of timers on your phone. Maya has her phone set where it can go to grayscale, and she says, not seeing the color just doesn't give that dopamine hit. So she sets her phone to grayscale at a certain time every day. So yeah, it's tricky, man. We love us some screen time. Yes, and definitely get color, make copies of your coloring pages. And yeah, Nathania, thank you for bringing up audiobooks. That's also a good thing to plug in. So, just make sure. Anyway, we'll keep those ideas coming. They're great because we're all about supporting each other. All righty. So habit and activity is down at the bottom of this page. And I had this. This is an old example where they wrote belief in yourself. And I just thought it was so perfect for our theme this month. That's so sweet. And just this person's choosing to maybe not worry about that habit and activity space. The one below it, of course, we've taken the weekend off. So this is that reminder you don't have to fill in all the spaces. You can track, you could set goals and track and try to meet a certain goal, or you don't have to track goals at all. One of my old ones is in the upper left. It's a little bit blurry, but I actually was trying to point myself back to other pages in my journal. So, like my monthly habit tracker check-in was there, and then doing the daily gratitude. And I was just trying to do a one word gratitude exercise through the daily gratitude list. And then I was writing a daily financial affirmation on my repurposed expense tracker. So those three things pointed me back to other pages in my journal. You can see some great examples here. Throw some stickers there. Again, you can set goals, but you don't have to. I've got some ideas to add to your habit tracker if you're looking for things to put there, or maybe one of these things will show up in another portion of your setup tonight. But like those weekly challenges, those are all really great things to add into that habit and activity tracker. If they might maybe one of those things will inspire you. And then we've got some feel good habits there. So let me put on just a quick little bit of music while we work on our habit and activity tracker, and then we'll pop over to the second half of the setup tonight. love the call out about giving up, not having sodas during this season of Lent. If you're on a Lenten journey, perhaps some of those habits show up there and you're looking at it and you're seeing it on a daily basis. I love that. Brenda made me laugh. She said she's like, get my butt in gear this week. She gave herself too much grace last week. It's time to get her done. That made me laugh, Brenda. Yeah, sometimes we're maybe too graceful and we don't get the things done that we need to. So now let's go over to our page two, and all the things I'm going to share with you. This page tends to get repurposed a lot, these sections. Lots of folks use the meal plan for something other than a meal plan. We love those big spaces there. And I've got a couple full examples here so you can see how folks are setting up this second page. We've got Mind Body Health Plan, just some beautiful stickers there that grow through what you go through. I love that quote. The other person on the right is doing Daily Glimmers, but then they're doing some stickers down in the shopping list, just like the one on the left. So it's all about, again, making this work for you. I'm going to show you lots of examples. So I'm going to show you some meal plan things. If you see something you like, but you don't want to put it in the meal plan, you can put it in another space. Um, Here it's not exhaustive, but here's what we've seen a lot of repurposing of the meal plan system, health tracker, affirmations, your wardrobe tracker or a packing list, Wordle, weekly reflection, a chore list, maybe your national day of list. So let's take a look at some. And again, I'll show you all of these examples, then I'll put on some music so you can have time to look at them again and work on your page. Here are three examples of using this using this meal planner for something with your nutrition. So we've got a couple of plans that are out or perhaps tracking, and then we've got someone who's going to use theirs for the macro tracker, and so that's what they're focusing on there. Also pay attention to those water droplets. There's 8 of those. If at work you're trying to track a new behavior at work or standing up from your desk, taking a break every hour, use the water droplets. There's 8 of them. Highlight one an hour when you do the thing that you want to do. That's a little repurpose for that. And I know, Amanda, that one in the middle is so, so delicious. We've got meal plan for my soul with some questions there, little mini micro reflections, a space for doodling, maybe your appointments, the big appointments of the week go there. So when you open it up, they're popping out at you. And then perhaps you'll just embrace the national days of and make that kind of fun. And I actually have some of those typed out for you, so you might want to grab those and plug them in somewhere. Just wanted to put this here. This could be something that goes in your mind, body, health space. That I always say, this is my selfish space. This is what I'm going to do for me for sure this week. But this is that grounding technique about stopping for a moment and just helping you kind of calm yourself down. And you just stop and say, I'm going to name 5 things I can see, and I'm going to do 4 things that I can touch, 3 things I can hear, 2 things I can smell, and 1 thing I can taste. And doing that helps you take a very mindful moment for yourself in the middle of a hectic day or feeling anxious. That is such a good pause, a little stop. So there you go for that. That would be a great thing to pop in there. Lots of, again, a selfish space, lots of self-care ideas. I've got a couple of graphics if you need some inspiration on what you could do to take care. I mean, like eat your favorite sweet treat. Like not mindlessly go in the kitchen but like think I'm gonna stop and go get that Girl Scout cookie. That's going to be my treat. So perhaps, being very intentional with what you do. Also, Brenda, maybe there's that old graphic that I love of Mind Body Health where it says, get off my butt. That might be what you need, Brenda, when you were saying you wanted to get going this week. Let's see. We've got just the Mind Body Health up in the upper left there. They're asking themselves the question every day, how did I care for myself? just that little mini reflection. You can do draw the lines. Somebody's put like all these beautiful things down, moment of mindfulness, ritual, journal. I'm looking at this bottom left. And then when those things happened, they just took that day and drew a line so that you knew I got it done. I did my mindfulness. I did it on I did mindfulness on Tuesday and I did mindfulness on Thursday. So that's kind of a fun way. Oh, I love that, Corey. I love that that left one, the upper left one is Corey. So thank you. I love that. How did I care for myself? Just again, that I love the idea of being very mindful. The one over there on the right, it's all W words: walk, water, watch, wait, want. So making that a little fun. Oh, there you go, Phyllis. See, Corey, you posted that. It's showing up here tonight and it inspired someone else. And I love that. And yes, those, oh, girl, listen, Nicole, I have eaten like 4 boxes of Thin Mints alone. I haven't even shared. Talk. I'm supporting a Girl Scout. That's right. They don't count. Thank you, Adrian. And then here's some special days that are coming up this week for you Tootsie Roll fans. Banana Bread Day is the 23rd. We've got Chocolate Covered Nut Day coming up. Letter to an Elder Day. I love that. Someone who maybe is a mentor to you. Um, Chocolate Souffle Day on the Come On. Peanut Butter Lovers Day. So some fun things that you might want to just pop into your planner somewhere just to make it fun. Or, I eat toast most mornings, so I'm going to celebrate big on the 27th this week. Some challenges that you might want to embrace a couple of these things this week. I love this digital declutter challenge. I've done that one before. It's great. It's just little bits, taking a few minutes, 15 minutes a day, photos, emails, contacts, apps, helps you clean that up a little bit. And then the shopping list again can be used as a shopping list, like you see the example there, but also very much repurposed. And we love a bingo board. So several bingo boards here. Love that. If you're having a birthday or an anniversary, make yourself a bingo to celebrate and do some fun things to embrace that all week. Here's the idea of taking some weekly intentions and framing them out through things like Mother Nature Monday, getting outside, Tech Free Tuesday. And you can see how someone did that. And then I love the little sticker. I unplugged for a bit. Yay! These are all good things for what we were trying to do when we're trying to reduce our screen time. Whoops. And then some more ideas about setting this shopping list up or moving these into some other spaces. And also, just love sometimes having a quote on your page. And this one really spoke to me in the idea of the belief journey that we've had. Perhaps this is the season to make the time to do those beautifully honest things that have been calling you. And I just thought, oh, that's a great, great quote to support the theme that we've been journeying with to throughout this month of February. I'm going to put on some music while you set this up. Let us know, what do you repurpose? What's going where? I'll go back through all of these examples. So if you saw something you like, grab that, and then we'll close out our time together. These socials do go by so quickly. A reminder that this has been recorded and it'll probably be posted very shortly, probably by the end of this evening. And so you could always access this as well as over like 1,200 different socials, but you'll be able to see this content again if there was something that you missed that you weren't able to get. I love the inspiration to what and the support that you offered one another tonight, the inspiration that you drew from one another, and those reminders to each other about being gentle and taking care of yourself and loving yourself well. This community is so amazing. So thank you for showing up, not just for setting up your journal, but showing up for one another and really embracing your community. This is what makes it so special. Just what you guys bring to our times together. So, yep. And we do better when we know we've got people out there. We'll take on the week with a great mindset, whether we need to be super productive or whether we need to take very gentle, slow care of ourselves, depending on what the season has brought us. We'd love to see your setup in Sonder Club. If you want to post your last week, what does it look like? Did you get it all done? Did you not? And you want to share that? I'd love to see that. We got to see Gloria's before and after. That's always fun. So thank you for that. And then just a call out to that personal life coach. And we're just going to shut down with a little inspirational music. And I wish you a wonderful last week of February. And we'll see you soon, Sonder family. It was a privilege to be hanging out with